Welcome into the Beachside Blitz, where we surf the wave of sports. I am your host, Patricia Caputo, and to jump right into it today, we got our first segment of Seaside Sit-Downs with Jhamier Howard, who is a college football player at Pace University and is originally from Toms River, New Jersey, which is about an hour away from here. Ja, thank you for joining me. How are you?
Good, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Of course, I'm so happy that you were able to come on and join us today, and let's get right into it. So a little bit of background on you. Like I mentioned, you're from Toms River. You played football in high school at Manasquan, but you were also a four-sport athlete. So as we were talking about before the show, you played baseball for a little bit and then went to track and then basketball and football as well. So when and how did you decide that you were going to play football at the collegiate level?
So really, it's always been a goal of mine. I've been playing football since I was 5. I started out on flag and then eventually gradually kept going into tackle. Everybody's dream when you start playing football is to go pro. So I knew like if I just took it one step at a time as far as like the level that I was playing at, I'd eventually get to where I'm at. And yeah, that's really how it all started. And yeah.
Was it difficult making the decision? I know you said that it was your dream to play football, but leaving those other sports behind, was it something that was bittersweet in that moment of I won't play these sports again, but there is something on the other side that's a lot better?
Yeah, you always have that like, oh, I'm going to miss this, I'm going to miss that. Everybody asked me in high school too, like, would I ever just like pick one sport to stick with? And yeah, I had a hard time like letting go of everything, and also because like I said, you play 4 different sports, you do 4 different things all year round, and it's like one time, like once you go to the next level, you kind of just focus on one. So it's kind of, yeah, it's definitely hard, and you miss like all the fun you have with all your teammates and everything. As far as like going on to play other sports, like I have some people that I play basketball with that went on to just play basketball. Some people I play baseball with that went on to just play baseball, and some people I ran track with that just went on to do track, and same as football. So it's just like, it's definitely hard because like you're going to miss the sport itself and plus all the friendships and bonds that you created along the way. But you got to sacrifice. That's kind of what it's about, sacrifice. So.
And when you make that adjustment, I don't think this is talked about enough because so often, especially fans, focus on the game and the aspect itself and all the excitement that comes with that. But they don't necessarily look at the camps and the practices that you have to do in the summer just to get to game day. So can you talk about that adjustment of going from a high school 4-sport athlete and then focusing just on football, but the grueling aspect of camp?
Yeah, so camp and everything is definitely a grind, especially when you have to come back, like go to fall camp. You're there before everyone else that goes to the school. So it's like just you and your boys, your brothers. There's going to be your brothers probably for the next 4. And it's just like, it's definitely a grind because, like I said, there's no one there. Like you don't talk to anyone else. It's all football, football, football all day from the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, which is also a good thing, but a bad thing because you also need time to yourself, and you also need to be able to like there's more to life than just football. And this is what I tell people all the time, like, there's nothing like just going out and just doing what you love to do besides football. Football has obviously been my life. Like, I breathe, live, eat, everything football. So it's just like I don't really mind it. And I feel like some people in camp is definitely, a lot of people feel like it's a job, and especially transitioning from high school, it's like you realize how much more it is of a job. So it's like you kind of, everybody's playing, like we're on scholarship, like people are playing, like we're basically getting paid to play for these people. So you always have to like obviously take it serious and everything and always compete in your preparation. But at the end of the day, it's like you also got to take time for yourself, because if you're not mentally ready, then you'll never be physically ready, because the mental health is real, and it's definitely a big part of being an athlete, especially in college. As far as like in season, once you get in season, it's definitely a grind, because that's when class starts, everybody else starts, so you have more distractions and you have less time to kind of compete your preparation. But at the end of the day, you still got to make sure you're getting that in, as far as like practice, film, lifts, and just making sure that you're staying on top of everything, because at the end of the day, you're there to play football and get an education as well. So you also got to hold yourself accountable and to a certain standard. And then we come back, we go through all season workouts after the season. In the winter, we have our winter workouts. We're running outside. I remember it was like snowing on the ground, and everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna run today. We're gonna run today." And sure enough, we ran that day. But it's just like, yeah, stuff like that. Like you just got to keep grinding. And then as far as like spring ball goes and everything, like we hit a lot during spring because we don't hit a lot. Like the season's over, so you technically take spring to like make tweaks, try out players in different positions, see where players are at, where they grew from when they came in from now to now. So it's like you kind of just take it all step by step, and obviously it's a grind, but you got your boys right beside you, you got all your friends, and then once you obviously get to that point where you could balance everything out, you'll be pretty good.
And you mentioned the mental health aspect a little bit. So what are you doing during the season or in the camp process when you first got there to ensure that you still have some time for yourself, that you can set that aside while trying to grind during football season?
Yeah, so I like to play the game. I mean, that probably sounds cliche to a lot of athletes and a lot of people that are out there, but yeah, I play the game with my boys, just have a little fun. You don't want to spend too much time on it because, like I said, you also have a lot of other things to be worried about. But when I do have time, I definitely like to play the game. I like to catch up on sleep, homework. As far as what I like to do, I also like to like just listen to music sometimes, like relaxing music, because just put your mind at ease and put your mind at ease and yeah, kind of just like to go on car rides and everything, play music, just relax and kick back, and yeah, that's really it.
So we talked a little bit about the mental aspect, but let's talk about the rehabilitation aspect of week in and week out, having to go to games and traveling. How are you rehabilitating your body each week?
Yeah, so as far as like games and everything go, you always have to take care of your body. So we go to like treatment. We'll have our athletic trainers are really good about getting us in for treatment, like ice baths, the Normatec boots, the compression boots. We ice stuff. Like if you have like little bumps and bruises, obviously it's gonna happen. We ice stuff throughout the season. Yeah, we stretch a lot. We use the foam rollers, everything like that. So that's basically how you take care of your body like throughout the year, and the season too. But yeah, that's really it. And then as far as like mentally to reset the week, you basically just have to tell yourself like last week already happened. Like there's nothing you could do about it. You can't go back and I could have made this play. I should have did this. I could have did that. But like you just kind of got to move on. You got to have like a short mindset. I mean, each week you have a different opponent, different goals, and so you basically just have to focus on the next week. It's always about the next week, next play, next snap, next quarter, next half. But yeah, just mainly about moving on. So
going from the high school to college level, where things are just different, where the facilities are bigger, you have a little bit more opportunity, there's a higher expectation. What would you say the biggest difference was when it came to rehabilitating and taking care of y'all's bodies?
High school, obviously, like our training staff is really good. You have more time, I feel like, to take care of yourself individually, and college you do too, but they also have a lot more people on the roster and a lot of other sports, so with just as big rosters. I mean, not really, but like I just feel like they have more athletes to take care of, definitely in college versus like a high school, especially mine was a small high school, so it wasn't that many people. So that like individualized time is just like more, I guess, in high school, but in college you also have to be more like independent as far as like holding yourself accountable, as making your own appointments, going on time so you get the most out of it. Yeah, basically everything else is just like in high school, like it was like right there, like everybody's like, okay, you should probably do this, you should probably do that. But when you get to high school, it's like, all right, now I have to like, you have to push yourself to be able to like do it. I know I have to make a slot. But I know I have class at this time, so you have to be like, or if I go here for like, the appointments in college are usually like 15 minutes. So like, all right, so I have 15 minutes to go here, and then I have to eat and shower and then go to class and do all this. So it's like basically just like time management plays a big role in that. In high school, it's like, it's not like a job. Like I said, like in high school, it's kind of just like, okay, we go to practice, you go to train after practice, whatever, and then you just go home and do whatever for the rest of the night. And then in high school, it's kind of like, okay, you got to figure out what you need to do to be able to maneuver around like class schedules, your sleep schedule, your homework. Like you got to give yourself time to do all that to be efficient. So yeah, that's probably one of the biggest differences I realized. Yeah.
And it's a grueling process to play football at any level, but especially at the college level. So why do this day in and day out?
To be honest, the reason why is just for the love of the game. If you don't love the game, and I mean this sincerely, if you don't love the game, college ball is just not for you. A lot of people lose love for the game, and I've seen it, and it's just like they push themselves so hard to like get through a practice, a lift, or a meeting. Like you have to also make it fun for you got to make sure you're still having fun, and I love for the game as well. Like so you can't if you don't really really love it, then I wouldn't pursue going to college. Everybody thinks all you see is what you see on Saturday, the final product. No one really understands all you have to go through mentally and physically to perform on Saturday. So it's like it's really hard to and a lot of people just can't find balance too. So it's like really hard for some people to do that. So I've seen some of my teammates unfortunately leave the team, quit, transfer because they weren't happy where we are. But it just happens. It's like it's a business at the end of the day. So if you're not fully invested, then don't invest.
And speaking on that idea of investment, you also have your own football training, which is called Jersey Shore Football Training. So can you speak on the idea of what prompted you to create that?
So yeah, realistically, I was training with this other guy that runs something similar called Atlantic Passing Academy. Shout out RJ Reed. He kind of got me into like the whole training kids thing. I have no idea what is going on.
It's okay. I'm so sorry.
No, you're good. Yeah, so he kind of just got me into that, the whole training kids thing. He needed like a running backs coach, and I was just around, and he asked me to do it. And since then, like people just were like, "Oh, like would you work with him individually, like one-on-one, like spend more time with him? Like I really like how you coach my kid." And he was just like, I'm only with them like throughout the school year, so if you want to do it like in the summer when you come home and everything, like just start up your own thing. And it's kind of what I did, and it kind of took off ever since. And I also do it when I'm like home throughout the year and everything like that. But yeah, that's kind of how it all started. And also when I was getting recruited, like I didn't have anybody that was like went out on a limb and was like, hey, like this is what they do at college camps, like we should work this, or to like help me build my skill set. Like I didn't really look into any trainers like that. Like I was just like, basically if I just work myself, like just work out myself and just figure it out, like I could go, like I could do this. So I was like I feel like kids out there need like that type of guidance, especially when they're trying to compete at the collegiate level. Like it's definitely, you got to be mentally, like I said, and physically prepared. And also you got to know like what you're doing as far as when you go to these camps and everything, because they look for certain things. So, and if you don't check certain boxes, then it could be bad. So I was just like, I kind of just wanted to pass along my knowledge of what I learned throughout the recruiting process, and what I did to make me a better player and a better person throughout this whole, career, my whole career. Yeah.
It is so true, because the more popular that these sports get, that baseball and football, they all need certain trainings. Most of the time they want people to have private trainings. They want people to go to camps in order to make it to that collegiate level. So they are so important. And don't give away all your secrets, but what does a typical training session look like for you and your young athletes?
So yeah, when they come, I kind of just, before we even like work out, I kind of ask them like, what are they looking to get out of it? What do they want to work on? How much time they have in their day? How long they're looking to train? Because you want to work yourself like enough And especially if it depends on what they want to work on, because if you want to work on something, just one thing, then you don't need to be working on that one thing for like 3 or 4 hours. Like that's just, you're going to burn out. So like if I do like any speed work or agility work, you really only need, in my opinion, maybe a good hour and a half, maybe less than that probably. But you don't want to sit there and just keep doing all these drills all day long, and then you just like, all right, now time to go home. Like your body, you only get better if you recover. So recovery is the most important thing. How you treat your body is the most important thing. How you take care of your body is the most important thing. So you don't want to go work out for 3 hours or 2 hours, and then, because it's just not healthy. And also like your body's like fragile in a way, so you don't want to, and when you're running everything, you don't want to risk pulling a hamstring or like spraining an ankle or doing agility drills or anything like that. Like you just want to, this is supposed to make you better, not make you worse, but like make your body feel worse. So you don't want to overdo it. So I always tell them, like, a lot of them actually ask me like how long do you think we need to do this for? Especially parents, because they're like, how many hours a day or how many days a week do you think we need to do this for? And I just tell, like, I'd be straight up like, and honestly, I'm not even like really in it for the money. Like I just love the sport enough to be like, all right, let me help out other people. So yeah, it's kind of how that goes.
No, it's so true. I just graduated from LSU, and Brian Kelly used to say it all the time, that you really only need a 90-minute practice. And when you look at that for the college level, from an outsider, you're like, 90 minutes, what are you doing? Yeah. But it's so true, because that's what he says. Then the fatigue sets in, and then that's when you're more likely to get injured. So everything you just said, was just true, especially just you having your own experience, but just literally the statistics in the book say the same thing as well, that more is sometimes, or less is sometimes more, and often it is, especially when it comes to playing a sport. And when you're talking to these younger athletes who have goals, just like you, to be where you are one day, what's the biggest emphasis you are putting on, what are you emphasizing the most, rather, when you are in these training sessions with them?
Yeah, especially all the kids that want to go to the collegiate level, I preach your grades are important. Your grades are important. The way you act off the field is important. The way you treat the people around you is important, because at the end of the day, one time I was getting recruited, and the coach, I'm not going to say his name, but came into my school. This is a FBS D1 school for all you football people out there. This is a pretty big school. He didn't even, when he walked into my building, he asked where the janitor was. And I know that sounds random, but the janitor, and then he had a whole conversation. He said, who is Jhamier Howard? Like, what is this guy like? Like, how does he treat you? How does he act, like, in school? And, I mean, thankful for me, like, I was really good. And me and this janitor were actually, like, really, like, we were boys almost. So, like, talk to him every day. I'd help. Sometimes, like, after our whole school had, like, a unit lunch. So, like, I'd low-key, like, help pick up the trash. Like, if I had, like, gym or something right after. So, like, thankful for me, like he knew me really well, and he knew me outside of school too. Like me and his kid, I've trained his kid before, and I've been around him enough, both of them enough to be like, okay, like they know who I am. So it's like, yeah. So and he asked that before he even spoke to me, spoke to my coach. Like the only thing he told my coach is that I'm stopping by, like have him in the office at this time, in the coach's office at this time, and then. Other than that, he asked the custodian, he asked the front office, he asked the front office to see my schedule and talk to one of my teachers. And yeah, that's how that went, like for that guy, or when I talked to that school. But yeah, you always have to make sure that it's not like I said, it's not just about football. Like everything else plays a role. So as long as you're good at everything, if you check every box as far as grade wise, character wise, and player wise, then the sky's the limit. And that's what I tell them. Grades, obviously, that's always a big thing. I've seen grades could be a differential between if a D1 school picks you up or not, because they don't want you to be a liability. They don't want to have to look over their shoulder constantly to make sure, oh, this kid's doing that, this kid's doing this right, this kid's doing this right. They should be able to leave you alone in a room by yourself, and you still do what they asked you to do. So it's like they want to make sure you're not a liability. They also, like, you also have to serve your community, like, basically what we've been trying to do as a football team at Peace. We've been trying to get out in the community more, go to support other teams. Like, in the past, we haven't really did that much. And then we act like expect people to be at our games and, like, support us when we don't do the same. So it's kind of like a two-way street as far as the community part. And I always just tell them, like, and your attitude and effort is definitely two of the biggest things that will take you very far in life. Because attitude is one thing that you can't really teach, but you can instill into someone's brain. You kind of just lead by example, show them how you're supposed to act and when you're supposed to act this way. Like, on game day, when you're about to go out there, yeah, you could be all rowdy, be all loud, whatever, get yourself hype. But, like, when you're in the library, like, you're supposed to be quiet, doing your homework. Don't be, like, that doesn't carry over just because you're a football player. Like, so, yeah, you teach them that. And then effort, obviously, like, always giving 110% of what you do, no matter if it's, I also tell them to treat your homework and the time you take to study as practice, and treat your tests and exams as, like, their games. Like, you don't, like, you want to compete. You, like, you want to get high grades. You want to compare with your boys and be like, oh, well, he got a B, oh, I got an A, and then that's gonna want to make him get better and be like, oh, next time I need to study harder because I need an A, and then next thing you know, you guys are just making each other better, like, as far as your teammates and classmates or friends, because the people around you are supposed to bring you up and not bring you down. So it's just like, you just kind of want to compete in the classroom the same way you do out on the field. The same thing with the community. Like, you want to be able to, oh, my boy got 12 community service hours this week, so let me go out there and get 14. Oh, he got 16 this week. Oh, now I got to get 18. So it's like, basically, just be a competitor in everything and not just football.
That's so true. Iron definitely sharpens iron. And just like you were saying I love that story with the coach, because you hear about that sometimes, and then everyone on Instagram is like, this guy's a weirdo. But truthfully, that's not the truth, because it's true that you knew that janitor, that custodian that he was talking to. He might have not known that. I'm not sure if he did or not, but he was able to say, I want to see who this guy is, to everybody, not just to the coaches, who are probably going to say good things about him because they want their player to get recruited. They know his potential on the field, but really to look off the field too. And to continue to speak about that off the field aspect, you mentioned it a little bit here and there, but I want to talk about how important is the mental aspect of the game compared to the physical aspect of the game.
Yeah, as far as the mental aspect of the game, it's a lot. I won't lie, it is a lot, especially trying to balance your social life, your school life, and your football life all in one. But people have done it, people continue to do it, so it's like, why can't you? It's definitely like football, as far as the game, mentally you gotta study film, study your opponent, know the plays, know the playbook. The mental part is probably the hardest part. Like, someone once said, mental is the physical is 4:1, which is definitely true. But I feel like that's in anything in life as well, because like I said, if you can't mentally be there, then you can't physically be there. Your brain's more likely to give up before your body. There's been plenty of times where I go in the lift or something, and I'm like, I look at my card, and it's like, all right, 1 set, but 20 reps. So it's like, you got to just be like, in my head, what I do is I'll break it up. So I'll count myself off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because it's just like a smaller number. And I'm like, all right, now 5 more again, 3 more times. So that gets me 20. But you just gotta, your brain is more likely to give up before your body. So, but if you think, oh wow, 20 reps, like, and you're under the bar or whatever, like, as you're counting out in your head, like, you're like, oh shoot, I'm at 12. Oh shoot, I'm at like, oh my God, it's starting to feel heavy, because like, it's just it's a bigger number that you're used to. So it's like, you kind of just gotta, your brain, you gotta channel it to make it easier, I guess you could say, in a way. But like, if you just put your mind to it, you can do it. Physically, nothing happens physically if you can't do it mentally. Like, okay, if I can look at this play and I can get it down like the back of my hand, like that, like then it's easier. But if you can't, like if you have to constantly keep thinking about it, you're never gonna be able to do it. My freshman year, I definitely struggled a little bit with the playbook, and me and my offensive coordinator, we had a meeting, and he was like, you learn the plays, you play fast, and you play good, because I've seen you play good, and I know you're a great player. And like I kind of just had to take that time to myself to be like, you got to take constructive criticism too at the end of the day. And I kind of just took that as not a, oh, he's trying to keep me off the field, oh, he's trying to make me like just be here and waste my time. But instead I was just like, okay, like he's right, like he definitely is right. And you would see it too out on film. Like we'd watch practice film together, game film, and it's just like I look hesitant. He's like, oh, you look hesitant on this play, and I look and you see it, like the eye in the sky doesn't lie. So you see like you'd see plays that I was just like hesitant, I was overthinking, or I did something slower than I normally would if I knew exactly what I was doing at that time. So that's definitely a big part. The mental, like you're nothing without your mind. Your mind controls everything else that goes on. So yeah, you just got to make sure you're in a good state of mind.
Right. It's one of the only things in life that you can control, essentially. Yeah. And just going back to the training for just 1 second, what is your biggest goal with Jersey Shore football training?
My biggest goal is to just keep training the youth to become not only better football players, but better people. Talking football with them, especially them, because like these are people that want to be there. They want to learn. They want to get better. So they're obviously going to listen. So talking to somebody about football that like shares the same love for the game that you do and the same passion, it's really fun. And I just want to grow it and keep making it bigger and better. Eventually, my main goal this summer is to get this one big nonprofit camp together somewhere, maybe Asbury High School. We're still trying to get everything together as far as like DJs and people that come out there, sponsor it or whatever. But I definitely want to get that rolling soon. And I want to do that like annually, once a year in the summer. Definitely like on a Sunday, sometime in the summer, because I mean, parents normally don't have work on Sunday. Sometime in like the morning or afternoon, so you're not getting up crazy early, and like it's not crazy late where we finish. I want it to be flexible and fun for everyone. So yeah, we're working on that currently, and like I said, just keep making it bigger and better, attract more athletes, and just keep giving back to the youth. I mean, the youth is our future, so you got to invest in them just as much as you invest in everything else. So.
And on a personal level, where do you see yourself in the next few years, playing football at Pace or just playing football at the collegiate level?
So in the future, I see myself finishing at Pace. I love the coaching staff, the previous coaching staff, and the new one that we just brought in this spring. I feel like we have the potential to be great, but we have to be all in, all hands on deck, and trust the process and trust each other. We got to be able to rely on each other in a sense and be independent at the same time. If we can all independently continue to get better every day, every week, every month, and then every year will be easy. And I would, like, at the end of the day, I would go to war for any one of my brothers. I feel like it's a big part of what football's all about, going to war with your brothers. So you got to always be able to trust the guy next to you wearing the same color jersey as you, as far as making plays, blocks, or whatever. And also, me personally, I plan still to go pro if I can, if the opportunity presents itself. But if not, I'm majoring in health science, and we'll see where that degree takes me as far as the medical field. But the future is very I don't know-ish yet, because like you can't really predict the future. But all I can do is take the right steps in the directions that I plan to go. As long as you have a plan, accomplish small goals, and eventually get to that final goal. And
Yeah, I 100% agree. I think being younger in that I don't know-ish era, when people just ask you things, you're like, one day at a time, I'm not exactly sure. Where there's beauty in that, where you don't know what the next 5 years look like, you don't even know what the next month looks like, that there is beauty in that. But thank you so much, Ja, for joining us on the Beachside Blitz today in our segment of Seaside Sit-Downs. This has been Seaside Sit-Downs with Jhamier Howard. We'll be right back on the Beachside Blitz after this break.